America's drug shortage has reached its worst point in nearly a decade. It is estimated more than 300 drugs are experiencing a shortage right now. It's the highest we've seen since 2014. And sadly, many cancer drugs and other life-saving medications are on this list being impacted by the shortage, and physicians are being forced to find workarounds to make sure that patients get the treatment they need. For more on this, I'm joined by Dr. Stites. He's the Chief Medical Officer at the University of Kansas Health System. This is troubling news. What are the options that doctors have right now, the tools to address this shortage?
Yeah, it's a great question. There was a discussion this morning about that in our cancer program, looking at trying to get in front of this as best we can to predict some of the shortages and what drugs we can use, how we can alter our approach to therapy in order to make sure that we get the most crucial cancers, that is, those that really require the drugs that are in shortfall to have availability. So lots of action being taken by our cancer doctors and our cancer teams.
What's the reason for the shortage?
You know, a lot of it has to do with this question about generic prescriptions. And some drugs, we think about drugs being so darn expensive, but drugs have been out in the marketplace for a long time. The prices drop, sometimes surprisingly not enough to cover the cost of making them. And as a result, they're just not as available as they were. Plus, the supply chain challenges throughout the pandemic continue in the drug manufacturing industry.
Are we at the point, doctor, where people are dying because they're not getting the drugs they need? Has it gotten that bad yet?
You know, that's a great question. We can probably only speculate about it because there are usually alternative therapies available. They may not be first-line therapy. Are you dying because of that? Or maybe your life's getting, for example, in cancer, is it maybe your life is shortened a little bit because you didn't have quite as good a response to a second-line therapy? That may be a more germane question that could be going on. I don't have great data about the exact numbers for that.
How about how soon we might see some relief?
Oh gosh, you know, they're talking about how much of this is due to the Inflation Recovery Act. I don't know that there's a relief right on the horizon. I think what we will say is that the supply chain will probably see an increase in prices for these very scarce drugs. That'll drive the margin up. It'll make the manufacturing of it a little bit easier.
I want to get your thoughts on this. An oral pill made by Pfizer, just as effective as the weight loss drug Ozempic, which many people have heard about. That's according to some results from a phase 2 clinical trial. Pfizer found people who took the company's pill for 16 weeks lost 10 pounds on average. The trial found people who got the injection lost that over about 30 weeks. Is this a good thing? Are we going to be seeing more of these drugs used for weight loss like we saw with Ozempic?
Yeah, I think, we are going to see more of these drugs used for weight loss because they're already being so successful right now. I don't think there's any question about it. I think what we really have to do is a phase 2 trial, which isn't really a pure efficacy trial and isn't up against Ozempic. The real trial you need is how does the oral therapy go up against Ozempic on a head-to-head trial, which one has a more effective weight loss? My guess is it is going to be really effective. And I think you're going to see many more look-alike therapies enter in the market because with the number of people who have and are challenged by obesity, this will be a really hot topic.
Who would qualify? And then secondly, what would be the risks?
Who will qualify for the oral therapy?
Correct.
Hard to know the answer to that question because it's a phase 2 trial, right? And with the phase 2 trial, you have to go into more extensive phase 3 trials to look at full safety and efficacy. Phase 2 don't really answer those questions. Right now, we'd say it's the same kind of considerations you'd have to go on Ozempic or something like that. But in the long run, we're going to have to look at the phase 3 trial to find the exact indication, the full set of risks. We just don't have enough data about it yet.
Is enough being said about these types of drugs being used in combination with lifestyle changes, better and healthier diet, exercise, that a drug is not a silver bullet in many cases?
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is absolutely not. You know, the challenge is you could be on the drugs for a while, but what happens if you want to go off the medication? Right now, we're seeing a fairly significant rebound because people haven't truly modified their lifestyle. Really, that question about modifying your lifestyle, how much and what kind of food you eat, and exercise really have to go hand in hand with these medical therapies. That's why it's best to do this under a prescribed program with your physician or with a team of people who are expert in weight loss, because in the long run, it's how you act on a daily basis that's going to make the biggest impact to your health.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.